A structure so deeply embedded, most of those inside it don't even realize what they are a part of. Institutions you trusted operating within a framework you were never meant to question. And while you worked, struggled to survive, something bigger was moving behind the curtain. In this documentary, we exposed the largest financial deception in the history of mankind. Not with options, but with evidence. Irrefutable, irrevocable, undeniable. This is not about politics. This is about power. This is about control. And most importantly, this is about you. Because the moment you truly see it, the illusion collapses. The distractions lose its grip. The noise disappears. And the question becomes unavoidable. When this film is released, the truth will no longer be hidden. It will be undeniable, uncontainable, unstoppable. My job is to expose it. Your job is to make sure the world sees it. Now, will you have the courage to face it, to share it, to break free from the system that was designed to keep you enslaved forever? Or will you ignore the greatest revolution of our time? The truth is here. You will either stand up and help us dismantle the Matrix, or the Matrix will enslave you and your family for 1,000 years to come. The choice is yours. God knows I did my job. This is why you go to events that host XRP and all these great superstars. You would never meet people like this, for example, if you don't go to the events. I'm a big event guy. I have, Quantum Summit 1776. We bring in a lot of crypto guys, some UFO guys, some people that talk about colloidal silver. I mix it up. I talk about everything. I just want to plug myself in this way I don't lose my energy here on my computer. So, but nevertheless, we met so many amazing people, and you did an interview with Paul Barron, who is one of my favorite podcaster when it comes to XRP. He's very mainstream setup. He's not like the big chair, the big New York, Brooklyn bravado, but he's cool as hell. We call him Uncle Paulie.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Uncle Paulie, how you doing out there?
Nice.
You know, but man, let me tell you, we have had such a huge, and I do stress the word huge, success with this $5.89 .117th of a penny movie. Okay, 589 XRP, 0.117th of a penny. You guys know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you for spreading the movie out there like crazy. People said I would have paid 10 times that amount for this movie. People said I watched it 3 times. The 5-star reviews are coming in like water.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's right? Crazy. It's unbelievable. Who would have ever thought an ex-pizza guy, Jesse, that I would be in the freaking movie business, podcasting, gold and silver. I own my own gold and silver company. I don't deal with all the other guys. I'm direct to the source. Capiche? Right? Yeah, exactly. Direct to source. See, he brings me the gold, right? Exactly. Precisely. You get it. And so, who would have thought, we would get into this educational business of teaching people about this new financial system, this financial facelift that's about to come. You see it. I see it. Yes, it's been taking 10 years. The beautiful thing is I got cryptocurrency called Staying Alive that depends solely on Mel Carmine, on what it does. The fluctuations of that business is all on me, what it does and how much cash flow it brings in. Okay. Yeah. Everything I do, it all depends on me. When that other stuff that we're positioned for comes, wonderful, great, So we're positioned, we got nice cash flow coming in. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's stomach is nice and full. Everybody's happy. What is there to worry about?
Nope.
I got God on my side. I met guys like Jesse. I'm good, and so we're talking about this quantum system, okay? And we know it's coming, right? It's a huge deal. By the way, don't forget, dearmrpresident.net, dear MR, okay, president.net. Go down there, watch the movie.
and tell everybody send it out to 5 people. One guy said, "Can I watch it more than once?" I said, "Yes." Can I bring people in my living room? Yes.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
Yes. So, but
For
anyway,
sure.
I'm having so much fun. And the guy that actually called me, I met my producer out of this. Okay, I don't know if he wants his name, but it's probably going to be too late. But he's got a name like a producer. You know, when you meet a guy that's got a really cool name, you say, okay, this guy's got to be something. Dan Birch is my new
Nice.
producer. I love it. He's
Nice.
like,
Yeah.
hey, I got
I
time
saw
on my
that.
hands. I know a lot of people, and I would love to introduce you. He goes, I've been watching your show for a long time. He's the guy that said, can I bring people in my living room? Of course.
Oh my
I
God.
can't stop you from bringing 20 people in your living room watching the movie, right? It's funny. But
That's
anyway,
crazy.
long story short, we're just having fun with it. So, how did you get involved? Tell people about your channel, first of all. How did you get involved with this, crazy cryptocurrency business? I mean, everybody knows my story. As a matter of fact, I just did a solo, which is probably going to get released tomorrow, that tells my whole story from beginning to end. But tell us your story. We want to know about you.
I appreciate that. Listen, first off, it's an honor to be on your show, man. It's so nice to meet you and the show, and I feel so blessed that a few people told you you got to get this guy on your show, and gave us some rooting for me. So it's an honor to be here, man. It was an honor to meet you, and man, XRP Las Vegas was just awesome, just
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
And I love Paul. Shout out to Paul Barron. It's always an honor to be on his show, and yeah, so I had moved cities about maybe 8, 9 years ago, and a guy, I was sitting in a coffee shop, and a guy like 2 tables from me just, he had been smoking actually. He was a bit high, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin?" He screams over like a few tables, like, "Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin?" And I hadn't heard of it, and I started looking into Bitcoin, and immediately I stumbled on XRP. So what happened with me is I had spent over 20, 25 years prior to this researching the central banking system, the elites, the mainstream media, how they operate, the three-letter agencies, all this stuff. And so when I realized XRP was working with the central banks and the banking system, as more I started digging, the more I realized, okay, this is not your regular company. And so I just started digging and digging and digging and became absolutely obsessed. Probably spent about over 20,000 hours researching crypto, mainly XRP, utility tokens, where this is all going, just unbelievable. And even when you're not researching, you're still brainstorming. You could be at the washroom, you could be walking, you're still thinking about what you research, connecting the dots. So that's how my journey started for me. Um, I saw about last year there was a lot of misinformation. People were not understanding a few things. I was in these Telegram groups trying to explain a few things to people, and they can just ban you like that. Like they don't like what you're saying. It doesn't matter if you show them the proof and everything. Because sometimes I'm like, hey, listen, this is a CEO saying it himself. Like it's not me. And anyways, getting banned from the group because I was trying to explain to people, like, listen, quant overledger is not the unified ledger. The XRP ledger is the unified ledger. And don't get me wrong, I'm so stupid bullish on quant overledger QNT token. But I was having this debate, and that's what decided for me to just. I think God pushed me to start the channel about a year ago. But I was still busy with many other things, so I couldn't put out a lot of content that much. But the channel grew pretty good for a brand new channel that I wasn't putting that much content. And yeah, here I am. I'm literally with Mel Carmine here
Well,
on the Paul Barron
listen.
Network. Yeah, God is good, man. I was the first one on the Paul Barron XRP podcast, which is insane.
Mm.
As a new YouTuber, my channel was only like 4 months old. That's just by God's grace. That's not me. I'm just an average guy that's crazy enough to do that much research. But yeah, and here I am with Mr. Mel Carmine. So
Well, I'll tell you, that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing.
all right,
Because
we'll take the good.
yeah, I am not the most liked guy in the world. I got to tell you, I get disappointed with humanity a lot. And I'm saying this because this goes on in the patriot community so many times. It's ridiculous. I wish I could have my cake and eat it too, I guess, and have everybody get along and everybody work together. You and I work together. You're going to get bigger. I'm going to get bigger. What's the problem with that? Right?
Yeah, and usually the more hate you get, the more truth you're speaking. So
Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't worry about it too
So,
much. It's
but
crazy.
anyway, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
I
So,
understand.
so you got into the cryptocurrency, you got into XRP. What other tokens did you bump into? What was it that turned you on about specifically about XRP? That you said this is going to be huge someday, whatever.
Yeah, I think they've been suppressing the price though, to be honest with you, because I thought it should have went up a while back. To me, XRP was just, there XRP is, in my understanding, it's positioned to capture the value of an internet protocol. Because when Ripple says we're building the internet of value, we're building the internet of value. The internet of information didn't have a token capturing the value of the protocol. So we're moving gazillions of bytes of data every day now. We move more data in maybe 5 minutes than we did 5,000 in the last 5,000 years combined. Because every time we upload a video, that's a lot of data. So the Internet of Information Protocol literally allows us to move all that data over the TCP. But there's no token capturing the value. There's no token, like when they created the internet 30 years ago, it didn't say we're going to put a token in here with a limited supply. And every time you move data through the protocol, you send a text message, an email, you do a phone call on WhatsApp or whatever, it's going to have to literally, or upload a video, it's going to have to use the token. So there's no token capturing the value of this utility, which is insane utility, because the internet was the biggest paradigm shift, transformational shift we ever saw in humanity. And so now we're moving to the internet of value, but we're also moving to we're also moving to the fourth industrial age. So I just want to explain that, Mal, if you don't mind. We had the third industrial age, which was the information age, the internet age. Now we're moving to the fourth industrial age, which is the tokenization age. Everything's going on the blockchain. This has been planned for years by the central bankers, the governments, the biggest corporations in the world. They want us to believe, that's why they gave us Bitcoin in the first place, so that we would, the Bitcoin story, so that we would embrace the idea of digitization, right? They gave us the Bitcoin story so that we would embrace it. I've done many deep dives on showing who really, what agency really created Bitcoin. But we're going to the fourth industrial age, which is tokenization age. But within the tokenization age, which is a lot of blockchains are going to be used, a lot of them are going to have utility and they're actually going to be adopted. Within that fourth industrial age, there's one which is the internet of value, which is XRP. It just happens to be an internet protocol. It happens to be internet grade, the potential to be absolutely massive. And well, it's going to be massive because the XRP ledger, the public XRP ledger, is the global RTGS. The majority of central banks are building their CBDCs on private versions of the public XRP ledger. And so when central banks want to settle cross-border, they're going to have to touch the public ledger. Okay, you can't go from so it's that big. It's the internet of value, but the token is positioned to capture the value of an internet, and XRP is positioned to act as a collateral layer for the world. And the central bankers are using numerous different names to confuse people, and I was the first one to crack the code on that, to show the community that, listen, the regulated liability network, because in all of the PDFs, or sometimes in their speeches or in their documentation, they talk about a regulated liability network, a regulated settlement network, a unified ledger, a shared ledger concept, and a finternet. So instead of saying internet of value, because everybody knows that's Ripple, they say finternet, financial internet. And they also say regulated liability network instead of saying regulated internet of value. Because the first time the regulated liability network was ever mentioned was in a city document in 2021. They called it the regulated internet of value. And they said, wait, we cannot say internet of value because everybody knows that's Ripple. Because Ripple has been screaming top of their lungs for the last 7 years, we are building the internet of value. And then what's his name? Sorry, the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, he even said, we are not the internet of value. Ripple's the internet of value. So they changed the name from the regulated internet of value. The first time it was ever mentioned in a city document. They changed it to the regulated liability network. So all that to say, Mel, is that the regulated liability network, the regulated settlement network, the unified ledger, shared ledger, and the finternet, or sometimes they say a unified ledger concept, a shared ledger concept, it's all the XRP ledger. And I proved this in my deep dives 100% out of their own words and their documentation. I was the first one to crack the code on that. Because the XRP community was very confused. It's like, okay, is the XRP ledger touching the regulated liability network? Is the unified ledger part of the XRP ledger? No, it's all the XRP ledger. And they're using different names to confuse us. So XRP is at the heart of everything. And it's a very, very big deal. There's other ISO tokens too that are going to play a role in this new paradigm shift. And I'm just absolutely crazy bullish on Quant, because Quant is the operating system. I just want to say this real quick. Quant, the QNT token, is actually the operating system, is technically the Microsoft Windows for the fourth industrial age. So what Microsoft Windows did for us, that it allowed us to go into the internet world, Quant over Ledger, which is the QNT token, is doing the same thing for the fourth industrial age. That's kind of my big thesis into
Right.
into the rest there.
How do you think they are actually manipulating the token XRP? Do you have any idea?
I am not sure, but what does not make sense to me is that in 2007, 2008, late 2017, December, the price shot up to like $3, $4, over $3 US within literally like it went from 15 cents to over $3 within like 2 weeks ish. I think it was around Christmas, if I remember
Three
correctly.
dollars and
And
ninety two cents, all time high.
how much, sorry?
3.92. It almost scratched $4.
Yeah. So, and at the time, they were just starting to build out RippleNet, from what we understand, right? RippleNet is where all the banks, payment providers, fintechs, they're all connecting to Ripple. And so they were just starting. And then, and I take whatever they say with a grain of salt. Trust me on that one. But, you know, they were saying they had 100 banks connected and they were adding 2 or 3 banks per week. I remember them saying 5, 6 banks per week. Some people say it's 2, whatever. Let's say it's 2 or 3 banks per week. Fine. 2 or 3 banks per week is literally 150 banks per year. Just in the last 7 years, that's 150 banks. And I've clearly proven in my deep dives that Swift is connecting to Ripple. There was never a competition between Swift and Ripple. I've proven in my deep dives that R3 is definitely connected to Ripple, right? They created the Corda settler, which exclusively uses XRP for settlement. Might as well call it the XRP settler. 90% of the banks are connected to R3. There's a lot of confusion there. I did many deep dives on that. We've got the DTCC handling 3.6 quadrillion per year, right? It's going to be probably 4 trillion, 4,000 trillion next year. They're going to use XRP. They're using other blockchains for tokenization too, right? Because but for cross border, cross liquidity, cross asset, it's XRP ledger. So, how can we have all this adoption? Third, there's different party APIs connecting to the XRP ledger, giving access to literally automatically 5, 6, 7, 800 banks. We're seeing that in the Swift diagrams. That they don't even need to connect to Swift directly. They can use a different party and literally. So all this adoption over 8 years and the price didn't even move. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So to me, I'm thinking it's possible that they the price lower. I don't know how they're doing it, and I can't really prove it, but maybe they want to keep the price lower because it gave them time to incentivize partners. Because look at the R3. The R3 deal was we're going to give you 5 billion XRPs with an option to buy. We'll give you an option to buy 5 billion XRPs as long as you bring your network. Provide at the end it was the Corda settler that they were providing really, but we'll give you an option to buy a contract option to execute 5 billion XRPs at less than a cent, 0.08. Right? They already did 140x on that. So if the price is low, and this is just something I'm suspecting, total speculation. If the price is low for a while, it gives them time to incentivize partner. If the price is already $100 or $50, you tell a partner, hey, we're going to give you this much XRP, bring your volume to the network, join us, blah, 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 and it'll be $500 later. Well, it's a 10x. But if the price is still 50 cents, it's not a 10x, it's 1,000. So it makes a big difference, in my opinion. Also, get the retailers out. Keep the price low for a while. People get bored, people get tired, people get impatient, people get broke, with all this pandemic. So, all this stuff, right? Get the people out, the weak hands out, or people just can't afford to hold that long. Or, I think there's advantages maybe for them keeping the price low for a while. I don't know exactly how they're doing it. I know that the CBDCs are being built on private ledgers. They only need to touch that public ledger, when they start going live, maybe flipping corridors. So I don't know how they're doing it exactly, and I can't prove 100% sure that they are doing it, but I suspect that they're suppressing the price. They're keeping it. It's just.
But the CBDCs, does that scare you? Number one, I'm going to get into the validity of how much XRP could be worth, and I think you'll agree with me. Let's talk about the CBDCs for a second. Central bank digital currency, is that going to be for us? Or is that going to be for everybody? Or is that going to be for some people that didn't invest in XRP so that they can control them? Say, hey, if you want to continue to get your universal basic income through the CBDC, you have to roll up your sleeve and get another one of these medical procedures that most people out there don't want to take. Is that a possibility? As far as the value of the XRP is concerned, I don't think you could put a dollar value on it. Personally, if it was me, right, and you, I would sit you down at a table. You would agree with Mel Carmine. I would make sure of that. Okay. If I came to the conclusion, for example, that an XRP has to be 100,000, for example, hypothetically speaking, I would want to bring it up to at least 5 to 10x that to compensate for things that we can't foresee in the far future, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, right? We know life extension technology is coming. We know that you and I will be here. Your beard will turn back to black in no time at all. Your cells are going to be rejuvenated and back to 20 years old. David Sinclair, not to get off subject, look him up. So we're going to be here for a very long time. We're going to need to spend all of this XRP. Obviously, some of us are going to get into the real estate game. Some of us are going to stake. I think a lot of staking games are going to turn out to be a lot of, some of them will turn out to be another FTX situation. And people are going to get scammed out of their money. I would not want to be the anxious guy or gal to go first. I would rather let the other people go first. There's very few people in this industry I trust. You know that, okay? So there are a lot of factors at play here, but I think that the universal basic income, for example, is gonna have to be upwards of about $8 to $10,000. Look at the price of everything; it's outrageous. How do you survive on $5,000 a month? My expenses right now, conservatively, right now, are 15,000, 16,000 a month, conservatively.
I hear you.
I got to make
Yeah.
15, 16 just to break even. That means
After
there's no money
tax,
in the bank. And
after the
I made
government
a
robs
I
you.
made a I made a chunk of change, and I won't tell you the number. It would scare you. Last month, and I said to my wife, "Where the fuck is the money?" She said, "Well, 10,000 went here, and we went traveling to Vegas, and we went to go see your mom, and the rent a car, and eating out at all these restaurants, and
I hear you.
right, it
I
goes,
hear you.
bro.
I hear you.
You're out on the road. So I think the XRP has to be a big, big number, not because again, the people who created the market cap, the big swinging penises, right? That's the Bitcoin bros. Okay. They had to show the world that hey, here's the market cap. They created that whole entire thing. Yes, it's nice in a three-dimensional world, but let me remind you, I like you guys. I have no problem with Bitcoin surviving. I have no problem Bitcoin going to $1 million. I don't have a problem with it. I want it to go. If you go to $1 million, we probably go to 1,000, and I'm okay with $1,000. I could retire on a $50 XRP and $100 XRP. I'm freaking, wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. I've never had that kind of money in my life.
Hmm.
Okay, so the bottom line, there's a lot of questions here, right? So, do you think that the central bank digital currency is going to be a way for them to enslave humanity? Yes or no? Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one of a kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with two E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level.
Eventually, I think. Not without getting too religious. As a Christian, I do believe in a cashless society that's coming in the future. Now, some people say, "Oh, it's going to be here in 20 years." Some people say it's going to be 200 years.
Nobody
It
knows.
depends. What do you think, right? But there is a cashless society coming. I do think that it definitely is because of this digitization that we're seeing now. CBDCs are absolutely a form of control in the long term. I mean, it's their goal. I think it depends on each country. So yes, there's going to be right now 99% of the central banks in the world are working on CBDCs. We can find that on a website called the Atlantic Council. It's all there. Literally, they're already implementing them. There's probably 20, 25 countries right now that are already in the process of implementing. I think 4 or 5 have already launched. It's coming. And literally, the problem with CBDCs is that now the government can program your money. They can say, if you do this and if you do that and if you don't do this and if you don't do that, then you'll get your UBI, or
Yeah, we're going to
it's a
restrict
big
how many
problem long term.
steaks.
Now it
We're
just
going to
depends on
Yeah, we're going to restrict how many steaks you could buy this week if you don't do what we tell you to do. That's not the kind of world we want to live in. Now, I don't think that this world,
exactly. And
yeah,
no,
I,
no, no, no,
right?
no, yeah, and then also I think it depends on each country how fascist they're going to be, right? It just depends because they're trying to control it, but obviously with the World Economic Forum and I think for me, every time I say anything about Trump, I get so much hate, but I think he's the biggest problem. He's the biggest problem for the elites. But they're each nation, each country, how they're going to implement the CBDCs and what kind of rules and how dictatorship they're going to be or fascist or whatever you want to call it is going to depend on each country. But I think eventually, you know, depending on what happens next 5, 10, 15 years here, um, I think that they had a plan. I don't know how quickly they thought to implement their plan to really enslave us. I think Trump is a big, big problem for them. A big problem. I know. And so it depends on how it rolls out. But CBDCs are not good because now it's programmable money. The government is, I think, my understanding is when you're holding a CBDC, literally the government is literally the CBDC in your wallet. It's tied right to the central bank. Like they control that CBDC. They can literally pull it right out of your wallet. I think it's direct to your wallet, and they implement like, oh, you traveled too much this year, didn't watch your carbon BS footprint. Oh, well, you don't get your pension, or you don't get your government whatever, right? So it's not good. It gives too much control because now, yeah, it's not good long term. It's not good, but I think it depends the country you live in, how long it's going to take. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
You had
Listen,
another
when Donald
question down.
Trump ran, he made it very clear he doesn't like central bank digital currency. He understood the ramifications of the enslavement protocol that is attached to it. So, with that said, I don't think they're going to fly because at the end of the day, there are countries that need resources that the United States has, and we could get them, we control them, just like they want to control their people with central bank digital currency. We can control them. Say, hey, if you don't play by our rules and get rid of your central bank digital currency and stop enslaving your people, we're going to stop sending fuel for about 2 months to your country. How do you like that? Oh yeah, Mr. President, we'll get rid of the central bank digital currency, and it's going to happen uber fast. Okay, so I think at the end of the day, Donald Trump has got the entire planet by the cojones, and he's squeezing very tight the
Yeah,
cojones. Okay,
yeah,
and he's basically the tighter he's squeezing, he's controlling everybody. They're not controlling us. We're the biggest nation. We're the most powerful, the most richest nation in the world. Are there things wrong? Yes. The chemtrails, the clothes we wear, the food is poison. Everything is a disaster. But but I think at some point down the road, because of people like me and people like you and people that say, "Hey, enough with the bullshit. We're going to fix everything." In the meantime, we're trying to survive so that we can get our XRP and our gold and our silver, so that we can, live long, prosperous lives with the help of, David Sinclair, who's he could take an 89-year-old gene and a person who's 89 years old, and in 2 weeks reverse it to a 20-year-old gene where that person wrinkles start to go away and the bones go back to normal. We are at the precipice of something magnificent.
wow,
This is not just a reset for XRP. This is the reset of humanity on every conceivable aspect you could possibly imagine. And if you
nice,
can't
yeah,
get there, it's because you have a chicken brain, and that's your problem, not my problem.
nice.
Right?
You're trying your best, right?
Yes. So, but the bottom line is that the central bank digital currency is going to go away. The stable coins are not a mechanism where they have what you want to turn off your stable coins. No, they're just like regular digital dollars. Eventually, we're going to have a digital dollar that's going to be a stable coin, just like we have the RLUSD, which stands for Ripple Labs U.S. United States dollar, or does it stand for real United States dollar?
Could well
RL,
be. Yeah, yeah.
real United States dollar. See, you got to read between the lines. So there's so many moving parts to this thing. I understand why they can't just roll it out, and it's available to the masses. How big do you think the XRP? I personally think that a $1 million XRP, not because I'm greedy, not because you're greedy. We want to be, we want to own 92 Lamborghinis and 76 Ferraris. No, Got nothing to do with that. I want a flying car. I've always said that. I'd rather have a flying car that gets me from point A to point B in 30 minutes or less. Mach 17 with my hair on fire. Okay.
Nice.
Right. And
Yeah.
I don't want the lamp. I'm not a three-dimensional being. So now, having said that, how big do you think it has to be? I think $1 million is out of the realm, not because we're greedy, like I said earlier, and because you're not greedy. It's because the banks have to move all the money, and they would rather move one XRP and move $1 million than to move a million XRP to move $1 million. And David Schwartz has said this in his tweets years ago, and basically Ripple sort of distanced themselves from that tweet because they say, "Hey, we don't know what he's talking about." Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that he is the ultimate what is it, goat, to give us a lot of clues here.
Yeah, and he goes back and forth. He kind of gives a hint, then he says something. It kind of sounds not too positive. Then he says something else. I mean, but can you imagine the amount of NDAs he's under? Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
And these are not
Absolutely.
NDAs that he has with me.
Absolutely.
This is NDAs he has with the most powerful three-letter
Yeah.
agencies in the world.
Yeah.
So
So is $1 million XRP out of the realm?
I don't know about a million, but I think yeah. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not,
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay.
No, I've been so wrong, honestly, Mel, for so many years, and so I'm very hesitant on say on price. But because I thought it would be like $1,000 like 5 years ago, right? Like this is insane. So that's why now I'm really hesitant because I don't even trust my valuations. But I think realistically with time, unless there's something I've missed, it should be minimum. I think it has the potential to be 10,000 to 50,000. And again, I'm being conservative. I understand where you're coming with the 1 million because once they start tokenizing everything, because everything's going on blockchain, they're going to tokenize everything: stocks, bonds, derivatives, real estate, art. And the more you tokenize, the more you cause fractionalization. You create all these silos between the assets. So anytime you want to go from one type of asset to another, you technically can use the XRP ledger. You can use XRP as a bridge, as a liquidity bridge asset to go from any type of asset to any type of asset. Like right now, yes, they're positioned to go from euro to peso, from peso to yen, from yen to want like currency to currency using. But later on,
Yeah.
it's real estate to tokenized stock to tokenize real estate. Tokenize art, tokenize car, tokenize whatever, right?
And
So
who's
it's infinite of
tokenizing it?
value,
Who's
huh?
tokenizing it? Who's the one that's
Everybody.
going to? No, but I'm saying
Well,
who's going to?
everybody.
No, no. What token is going to be at the forefront of tokenizing shit? The
Well,
main
that's the thing.
tokens.
I see the XRP ledger, but even if they're tokenizing on Solana and on the Ethereum network and on Canton network or whatever, once they want to move from one type of asset to another type of asset. So and just for our viewers to understand, tokenization simply means you're taking the ownership of an asset and you're representing it in the form of a token. So instead of having a paper saying, you own this house or you own this car, you own this, this derivative or whatever, you have a token. That's it. It's just, the ownership is represented in token. So, but once you want to go from tokenize, something that's tokenized on the Canton network to something that's tokenized on the Solana blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, you need a purposely built bridge asset, which XLM and XRP are the only purposely built bridge asset to do that. There is no other internal value because the XRP ledger is built on the Interledger protocol. It has a decentralized exchange built in the XRP ledger. It has the most advanced AMM, the automated market makers. It has basically order books. It's the only blockchain in the world that has order books and a decentralized exchange and an AMMs, and it has multi-pat finding. It has multi-hop finding. I mean, it's extremely advanced. Okay, and you Google search right now, David Schwartz Bitcoin patent, you'll find a distributed computer system patent that he was awarded in 1989 while he was working for a very powerful three-letter agency that starts with an N. Okay, so, and I love your shirt. Let me explain to you something, my friend. I love your Rising Phoenix. In 1988, the Rising Phoenix article, Get Ready for a New World Currency, on The Economist magazine. Everybody talks about the front page, but nobody ever takes time to research what the article actually said. And what the article said, it says we have new currency, we have new technology that will allow us to create a new world currency, and it will and it'll help with global liquidity, FX, global trade. And in the article, in a very subtle way, it argued that the best, and they would accomplish this within 30 years by relentlessly integrating it into everything. But the article, in a subtle way, argued that the best institution to manage this new world reserve currency would be the IMF because of its experience with the special drawing rights, the SDR. And then the year after, the article said we have this new technology. The year after is when David Short gets the patent on distributed computer system, which is technically the Bitcoin patent to a certain degree. And so there's a long story there. 8 years after, the same agency produces a paper called Cryptography: How to Create a Mint. And then literally 6-7 years later, 2001, we get the same agency produces SHA-256, SHA-256, which is the underlying technology for Bitcoin. It's the underlying technology for Bitcoin, SHA-256. And then later on, like 6, 7, 8 years later, we get the Bitcoin white paper saying, oh, there's this new white paper. It's about Bitcoin. We don't know who it is. This guy's name's Nakamoto. He's a free thinker. He wants to get us away from the banks, central banks, and so on. But the Bitcoin story is complete BS. They gave us that story so that we would embrace the idea of digitization. Now, can we still make a fortune off this technology? I do believe, absolutely. But was it really Nakamoto, a guy we don't know who invented it? That's a complete BS story. They gave us that story so that we would embrace the idea of digitization. Sorry. So, but yeah, where was I going? So the reason that what happened is they created SDR in 1968. It was supposed to be a supplementary reserve asset to the US dollar. It was supposed to help with global trade, liquidity, and so on, but it didn't work because they only gave it to central banks, and it never got the adoption that it needed to serve as liquidity. It didn't get the use cases because they only gave it to central banks. They didn't give it to everyone. So that's why you see the article in 1988. They're redoing the SDR technically. What they're doing right now, Mel, is they're redoing the SDR, but they're using a private company to do it. Because Miguel Villas, when he was at Ripple, they asked him, they said, what are you thinking of doing with the escrow? And he says, for me, I kind of see this maybe as a lender of last resort. I don't think we'll ever sell it all.
Special drawing rights.
Special drawing rights. Yeah.
Right.
And he says, so Miguel Villas, when he was working at Ripple, he answered the question. He says, well, I think he was being interviewed by Thinking Crypto. And he says, I think for me, I don't think we'll ever sell all our escrow. I think I kind of see us as maybe becoming a lender of last resort. And, he says, I think that kind of sounds crazy for a private company. So maybe we give our, something would have to change structurally. Maybe we give our escrow to another institution and they become a lender of last resort. The only lender of last resort on planet Earth is the IMF. But anyways, I don't know if I want to go that rabbit hole because you're trying to save we don't want to be shut down again. But
well, we've been pretty good boys under this, Marxist system that is run here by YouTube.
Yeah.
But I could tell you, it's like walking on eggshells. It's like walking in a landmine. You never know when you're going to blow up. It's very stressful to have a channel on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. But sorry, to add to your question, like I think realistically, eventually, I think 10-20,000 would have to happen, right?
That's a realistic number. That's
minimum.
A small number.
Yeah, very small.
Again,
very small.
If the financial institutions are going to own the bulk of XRP, and they will, and they're the ones at the helm of moving global commerce, they're it. Whoever survives, whether it's BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, BNY Mellon, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, etc. So if they're moving all of the money and they want to move maximum value, they're going to want the XRP to be worth a ton of money. That's a given.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, I don't think, like I said, it has anything to do with us and our level of greed, although there is a lot of greed out there. Whether it's $10,000 or whether it's $20,000 or whether it's $100,000, I'm still worth billions. Either one of those three numbers. I'm a multi-billionaire at either one of those levels. Now, if it goes to 1 million, I'll be worth probably like Bill Gates and Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett and whoever else you want to throw into the mix combined, but I won't be as big as yours truly $800 billion. What's his name?
Oh, Elon.
Elon Musk. Or maybe I will. Who knows? I have to do the math. It would be huge.
It
It would
depends
be
when.
yeah. It
It
would be
depends when,
massive.
because he
Yeah.
keeps increasing.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll be the first trillionaire.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
likely for him to be the first trillionaire. I think that you'll have a lot of multi-trillionaires in this game when it's all said and done, and this New World Order war is over for real. I think Brad Garlinghouse will join those ranks. I believe David Schwartz would probably be, close to $1 trillion. I believe. I believe guys like Stu Algarati. Who was that guy that was on stage? He was the guy that got interrupted from a poker game and went to go talk to Ripple.
Uh,
You know who I'm talking about?
no,
Yeah, but anyway, not important. Yeah, maybe the name will come to me. He actually asked for. He says, "Look, I don't need the money." He asked for 1 billion XRP. He
oh
owns.
yeah. Sorry. Oh my
It will come
goodness.
to you. It will come to you.
Yeah, he in one of the videos he said, I could arguably be deep state. People could argue I'm deep state. I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
Oh my
he
goodness.
he probably is deep state.
Well, he said in one of the videos he talks about his insider stuff, and then he says, people could arguably people could argue I'm deep state. Like he made arguably I'm deep state. Like I can't remember his exact words, but he's technically indirectly saying he's deep state. Um,
Greg Kidd.
Great kid. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 billion XRP. Imagine 1 billion
Yeah.
XRP.
Yeah.
But
Now
I
I don't know if he
suspect
still
now that
owns a lot of it, or if he sold part of it at $3.55. I have no idea.
I suspect if someone like a guy like him, I suspect if that 1 billion is not already pre-allocated, a pre-contractual agreement with other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is he not? Is he maybe working? I'm not saying he is. Okay, it's
Hmm.
not a personal attack, but I'm just saying, what if he's working for a three-letter agency and this 1 billion is pre-allocated to 50 other players, where they all get 20 million each, right? 20 million XRPs each, maybe under pre-contractual agreement, just to incentivize another 50, 100 key players in key positions to make sure this gets adopted. I'm very
Yeah.
surprised to see somebody holding 1 billion XRP. Like, it's complete
All right.
insanity.
Let's fantasize a little bit. We might as well speculate. You can't get in trouble for speculating, right? Um, and dreaming. Yeah, you have to have a dream. I believe
Yeah,
it's a dream that keeps you alive. But let's say XRP does hit 100,000, right? Where
yeah.
where where does XLM fall into this whole thing? Where does XDC fall into it? Where does Quant fall into it? Where does Hedera Hashgraph fall into? What numbers can we allocate towards these other tokens?
Yeah, you just named five very solid projects there. Very solid projects. So XLM has half the supply, I think, of XRP. I think it's like 10 times cheaper than XRP right now. I'm not sure. XLM is more focused on small, medium enterprise and peer to peer. I don't think they have a CBDC platform like Ripple where they're launching CBDCs like a joke on the platform.
Hmm.
Um, 100,000 XRP speculation. Okay,
So
100,000 XRP.
100,000 XRP, would it be fair to say that providing XRP hits 100,000, that XLM can hit 5 to 10,000?
Yeah, it could. I think it's also going to be based on utility as well, like the use case they're serving and how much utility they have. All not just across the board. Like if XRP hits 100,000, XLM hits a certain price, HBAR hits a certain price. I think it just depends on like how quickly it's going to be adopted and what's the use case.
Jesse, I got a problem. I just became a billionaire again.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Just on XLM, you know?
Next,
Come on,
next
bro.
time, next time, when that happens, you're giving me a private jet, okay? Just not even sending it. Just give me a private jet. It's pocket change for you. Just, you know, send the private jet to come pick me up.
Oh,
We're gonna
you
do
won't
that in
need a
person.
private jet. You're gonna have
Yeah, yeah.
anti-gravitic machines that has no moving parts. It
That
doesn't
works.
have it doesn't have belts or water pumps or oil pumps or oil in it and antifreeze or a radiator. None of this stuff. Okay, this is
Just press a button
antiquated.
and I'm sitting there
This
with
is
you.
antiquated bullshit. We're talking about a technology, a motor that is symbiotically aligned with your brain, that you're telepathic. You basically tell it, hey, I'm going here. You might have to give some documentation, put it on some screen, scan
Wow.
your passport. It says, okay, yeah, Jesse is not a criminal. He wants to go to the Philippines for 6 weeks. Boom. And all of a sudden, you get in your craft. It's time to go. No airports. Nobody has to. You don't have to go through a machine that gives you all that thing that starts with a C and ends with an R. You don't have to get a pat down and somebody squeezing your balls or your wife's vagina and all that shit, right? You understand? You just get in your car, you get in your flying machine in your garage, and you go out and you go, and you're gone.
That's crazy. But one thing though, Mel, that sounds all great. But when I get there, can I get a big chair like yours? Can I sit right in the chair?
Absolutely.
Okay, well
I'll
then
make it.
let's do
I'll
it.
make it a standard captain's chair on every
Let's
flying machine.
let's do it then. Let's do it. I'm ready. No, it's crazy. Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
understand.
that's where it's going, and they have the technology. It's not 6,000; it's more like 16,000, 17,000, 18,000. We don't know how many patents they've been hiding from us.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, look, think about how much oil the planet produces on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You think these monsters who are already worth billions of dollars want this Ponzi scheme to go away? The planet's never going to run out of oil. So that means we're going
No.
to be on four rubber tires for the next 10,000 years because someone needs to make more money,
Mm,
and they're all on these mega yachts offshore laughing at us, but a bunch of peasants we are. No,
mm.
I say bullshit to that. We're putting an end to that, bro. You
Yeah, I
know.
hope, man, because
No, it's
it's
going to
crazy.
happen. It will
Yeah,
happen.
I'll take
Life
it. I'll
extension
take it.
technology will happen. Flying cars will happen. XRP will happen. XLM will happen. The new financial system is going to come. The reevaluation of everything will be here. The silver, the gold, all of it. It's in the Bible.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, gold is really underpriced too. I think my understanding, gold shouldn't gold right now be like 60,000 because it's being manipulated in London. I think the real price just right now, just
The
like
real price of
without even
gold
a
should be
repricing.
about 60,000. The real price of silver should be about 15, 20,000 right now.
Jeez, around
Yeah.
15, 20,000. That's yeah, it's a 1500x. That's like 1800x on silver, depending on what's the price
Yeah.
right now.
Well, if you're like me and you, which you probably bought it at like $23 or $20, I bought my first XR. I bought my first silver at $15.46
Nice,
an ounce,
nice. I
and then
missed
I
it a
got
bit because I was
and then
too
I
heavy
got
in it.
bored, and then I got introduced to XRP, and then I sold my silver to get into XRP.
Oh no, I did the same mistakes. I thought XRP was gonna run like years ago. That's what I mean. And if you look, like it was one of the main tokens that had real utility. One of them,
Uh,
and it's the only one that didn't do anything 4 or 5 years ago in the bull run. Like
yeah,
it's just complete nonsense, right?
yeah.
So I mean,
So
it
the
doesn't help.
Hedera hash graphs are going to be in the thousands as well. XDC, I think that's a very exciting project.
Oh, XDC is a monster. I mean, it's literally infrastructure for global trade. They're tokenizing everything that has to do with global trade, letters of credit, trade documents, purchase orders. It's purposely built for that. You know, we're seeing that agenda coming from the highest top. You know, right from the top.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time researching XDC 3 years, three, four
Hmm.
years ago. I'd spent at least a year and a half, maybe thousands
Yeah.
of hours. It's big. Age bar is absolutely massive. Shout out to the guy to talk to about Age Bar is King Channing. I had a 4 hour conversation with him the other day. I need to bring him on my show. Holy crap, man! Age Bar is a monster. Age Bar is a monster as well. XTC QNT is just don't even get me started on QNT because QNT right now is technically 100 times cheaper than XRP because you have to look at the market cap. Now I know that market cap is not the right way to price it. Technically, like we can't. The issue I have with market cap is not that it doesn't give us an indication of the potential and how cheap it is.
Right.
The issue I have with it is that people look at the market cap and they say, oh, well, XRP couldn't be worth that much because the market cap would be too high. Well, no, you're pricing infrastructure here. This is an internet of value. These are utility tokens. These are tokens capturing the value of networks. This is not a stock or this is not a stock where people just buy out of speculation. This is infrastructure. level, like literally infrastructure for the whole world. So that's the issue with market cap. People look at it and they say, oh, well, it would be too high if it goes to this price. Well, no, you can't price this. Like, this is not a payment platform, or like this. It's more than that. You know, this is not a stock. This is not a company. This is like collateral infrastructure that literally the whole world's going to be tokenized on.
How
So
about tokens that nobody really talks about? They're not part of the ISO tokens, but yet they're very valuable. They've been here for a long time. And if you read the articles on Velo, for example, VELO, tied to BlackRock, big time, huge.
yeah,
Okay, there's like this huge conspiracy going on between BlackRock and Velo, which is like 0.0000 and then some number. Okay, which you could buy like I don't know, probably like 20,000 Velos for like $100 right now. It's ridiculous, and Velo is going to be a monster project, and nobody sees that coming.
yeah.
What do you think of tokens like VeChain and Velo, for example?
Yeah, like I haven't studied Velo enough and VeChain general idea, but what I would say there is there's a general idea. A lot of people think like, oh, it's only some people in the ISO community or utility tokens think that it's only ISO tokens that are going to do something. I completely disagree with that. I would agree with you. Even if Velo or VeChain or other projects are not ISO, it doesn't mean they're not going to go. You know, they're not going to be utilized. I do believe that because through Quant Overledger QNT token. So Quant Overledger allows the legacy systems, the whole world, to connect into multiple blockchains at the same time and pick the best features of each token, best features of each blockchain, right? So, and I think it automatically gives a compliance there as well through the TC307 standard. So yeah, I think some of these cryptos that are not necessarily ISO compliant right now or on the ISO list are absolutely going to, some of them are going to be a very big deal. And some of them that are under the radar, like you said, and you know, they might not do nothing for 3 or 4 years and complete sleepers, and then next thing you know, like 100x within a year, 100x within 3 months. It just happens with crypto. It doesn't do anything for 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden it wakes up, and then everybody wakes up to it. And so yeah, I agree with you. We don't know what it's going to be
And
in
I
10,
missed a few of
15
those boats because I'm too busy running businesses, and I didn't like. I bought a token called EOS,
Okay, yeah,
EOS.
yeah, yeah.
Remember EOS?
I remember it. Yeah.
All right. And who recommended that token?
I don't know.
A guy that supposedly is dead, but maybe he's not dead, John McAfee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I bought a bunch of that, and then it went to $23, and then it
How much
went
was it?
crashing back down. I bought it at 50 cents.
Yeah,
When you live this, now I know. Now I got
yeah,
my coin watch live, and I'm watching
yeah,
the tokens all the time.
yeah.
Because if that happens again, for example, and I got 50,000 things that I bought at 50 cents and now they're $23, I'm selling it at
Yeah,
23
yeah, yeah,
bucks.
because they usually come back down. In general, they come back down. That's what I learned the
Right.
hard way too.
So in the last bull run, when XRP went to EOS, went to $23 or $26, I forget the number. It's a big number. It was big enough for me to dump at least 80% of it. You know what I
Yep,
mean? And
yep.
relax a little bit, right? Instead of work all the time. But now that I understand how the game is played and became a little smarter, I'm paying attention a little closer. But yeah, how much longer do you think it's going to take? Do you think that this bill that we're going to be signing here soon, this Genius Act, and the what is the bill of
Clarity Act,
sale? The what is
Clarity
it
Act,
called?
Clarity Act.
Clarity Act. I called it the bill of sale. What the fuck
Yeah,
can
bill of sale. Yeah,
I
yeah, easier, easier. It looks like it's coming. Of course, we see a few evil puppets there trying to delay it a bit and all this nonsense. But yeah, I think they're gonna make it happen. I don't think it's absolutely required. I think like the adoption will happen eventually, but it is crucial for for the now. For it's gonna speed up everything. It's kind of my
Okay, let's
opinion. And
say everything goes smooth. They sign the Genius Act. They sign this. They sign this other Bill of Sale Act, whatever. Okay, what happens? XRP best case scenario. Let's say everybody's got this date going on right now, 4th of July. What happens?
I
$5?
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna propel XRP because we've seen like yeah $5, let's say. I think it to me it's like when are they ready to start flipping corridors, lighting up corridors and switches, and like, are they gonna, Mel, are they gonna bring it to $5, $10 because they know 80% of people are selling at $10? Then they bring it to $50 because I'm telling you, Mel, by the time XRP would hit $100, 95% of people in XRP are out. Yeah,
Listen to what he just said, guys.
yeah, they don't need to
They don't need to
compensate
buy
it.
you out. They don't need to
No,
buy you out when there's a lot of fools, okay? And there's a fool born every second, okay, that is willing to sell it 20, $30. So they're going to bring it up to $5 and see how many takers they have. They're going to wait another
yeah,
few months. They're going to bring it up to $10. And then the next set of fools goes. By the time they get to 30, 40, $50, 80% of the cavalry is gone
yeah,
and they don't have to buy you out because
they
you
don't have
sold
to.
it for 50 and they bought it at 50 because they print money out of what? Thin
Thin
air,
air,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah,
to them, whether they buy it at $50 or they buy it at 50 cents or they buy it at 5 cents, to them it costs them nothing because they print money out of what? Thin air.
thin air. Yeah, and even if they push it to, even if it goes 20, 30, 40, 50, even in a month, 2 months, like it doesn't matter to them because again, like most people are selling on the way up. People are just going to buy assets, which makes the assets to go up, which they technically
Hey,
all
listen,
own.
if
They
somebody
own all
makes
the,
$50 million because they bought an asset at like dust, a penny or 2 pennies or 5 pennies, and now it went to $50 and they made $50 million. Hey, you did good. You
yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
great. Obviously, do we believe because we're speculators that you could do 500 million for those people that sold at 50 million? Yes. Am I giving you financial advice? No. Do I give better financial advice than financial advisors? Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We forgot to give that disclaimer. Rewind. Okay, we're not financial
Yeah.
advisors. This is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. But I always say we try to make it very entertaining for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think that, when they have to tokenize everything and they have to move all of the money, okay, and everything is going to be mostly on the XRP ledger. Why? Because it's the only one that can be scaled to 3 trillion transactions per second or 3.5. When that time comes, it has nothing to do with you or me. It has to do with however the dust is going to settle. How much money's going to move? Boom. It's going to be 100 quadrillion a year. Great. Wonderful. Why? Because you got UBI, you got flying cars, you got robots, you got this, you got that. You got things that you can't see that are not here that are going to be here in the future that
Yeah. Oh
require
yeah.
money.
Yeah, and just the Internet of Things, IoT, like interconnected devices, just that alone,
Right.
self-driving car, and they pull up to the station and they pay for the ticket automatically. This is all coming,
Yeah.
So yeah, but Mel, I think the next 12 to 48 months, the next year to 4 years, we're going to see mass adoption. And yeah, because who was it? Was it Bassett who admitted that literally within 2 years, all of capital markets in the U.S. are going to be tokenized? 2 years. This is insane. And this is like, was it Bassett that said that? It was somebody high up there in the U.S. administration, like one of the top guys, said that they plan to tokenize everything within 2 years in the U.S. So, and then 4 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the WEF, oh my goodness, do
So let's put a realistic date. Let's talk 2030 because I think this thing could go all the way to 2030. Yes?
Oh yeah, yeah, and again, it's going to continue to get adoption after. When the
Yeah.
internet started in 1999, early 2000s, we had no clue where this was going to lead. Like this is
Yeah.
what we see right now with the internet. Having Google Map tell you, hey, the lady flirting with you, turn right, turn left, go 100 meters. We never expected this. Us talking by video right now,
Dude,
for
we used to
free.
deliver pizza. We used to have to look on the map and oh,
Yeah,
where's Main Street, right? And you have to go G 123 and then come and like, are you fucking kidding me? Now we
yeah,
got like, right?
yeah, yeah,
Now they're
exactly. In
delivering the
2 seconds.
pizza with the robots.
Oh yeah, well yeah, soon that's exactly what's going to happen.
No, it's
Elon
happening right
Musk.
now in New York,
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, in Nevada, Las Vegas, etc. It's happening right now.
That's crazy. Yeah. And so imagine in 20, 30 years from now. So I think we're going to get like a crazy explosion in the next, year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, because finally now we're getting the legislation and the rules and the interoperability required for it all to function together. But it's going to continue. Like you said, like this is just going to, technology is going to continue. Technology never stops. It never sleeps. And what's crazy right now is that literally the advancement in technology that we used to do in 6 months, we now do it in like 3 days. And then now what we do in 6 months, we do in 2 days. And then now, like, like if you look at 4 years ago, the advancement in technology we used to do in 6 months, we're probably doing in 5 minutes right now. Like, it's
Exactly.
crazy. So, this, and again, this is all going to be, it's going to go into blockchain, most of it, and AI. And it's like, this is, if somebody's positioned in the right assets, man, in 10, 15 years from now, if somebody doesn't sell, again, not financial advice, it could be absolutely stupid to value that. Because, yeah.
Well, listen, the guys that have been here for, 8, 10, 11, 12 years, it's safe to say that by 2030, a lot of us could be worth, 60, 70, maybe $100 million, right? If
I'll
it
take
goes
it.
slow, if it goes slow. If they say, no, turn on the switch, we got to move 100 quadrillion. No, everything has to be tokenized by the end of 2030. No, we have to have the universal basic income in place. Then it's over.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like,
What
and they're
happens?
called,
What happens if my movie gets out there and they say, no, we got to release this money. This money was stolen. It's been traded in the name of Mel Carmine. It's been traded in the name of Jesse. It's been traded in the name of Bill, Tom, Dick, and Harry. And it's your money. And we have to release this money to you. And that money has to travel on some rails. And those rails are going to be XRP, XLM, whatever. Boom. How many quadrillions of dollars are stuck in those accounts that these bastards have stolen from us? That's why you need to go watch the movie Dear Mr. President.net, Dear
oh, yeah.
MR
Yeah,
President.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yesterday, I watched the movie. I'm so proud of my work.
Yeah,
I was like,
so
oh,
do I.
because I had 17 people out of thousands, tens of thousands of people. I had 17 people tell me that, hey, I can't watch this because they live in the woods. They got like, 1/2 a meg of internet. They live in a log cabin. There's no electricity.
Mm.
They're probably taking a shit in their backyard or something. I have no idea.
They
Okay,
need to get Starlink.
right, exactly, or something, right? So I basically said, just put it on pause, go to bed, wake up in the morning, have breakfast, have your coffee, come back in the morning and hit play because that's probably what it is. How can thousands of people have no problem and 17 people have a problem, right? So, but I
Yeah.
was watching it and I'm like, there's no glitches. It plays. I stopped it. I paused it. I went. I exited out of the window. I came back in. But I got 300 megs up, 300 megs down. That's what I have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
390
Yeah.
something.
That's all you need.
It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, I was watching the movie and I couldn't stop watching my own movie
Yeah. I
because
like
it was
it.
so well
Yeah.
produced. It was
Yeah.
so well. It was
I,
so well coordinated. It was so elementary that anybody can. And people are writing in the comments in the reviews that, hey, I've never understood this strawman thing. Now I understand it. This is
yeah.
absolutely 5 stars. I'll watch it again and I'll share it with everybody. This is the comments we're getting back, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting
No, and,
there.
and I know because I started watching it and I had a family emergency and I haven't had a chance to finish it like I told you.
Yeah.
I had a big family emergency. Just
But I'm sitting there watching it, Jesse. I was
crazy.
so like proud of the work that I put out. Because I'm a
You guys
tweaker.
put a ton load of work in
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. We put so much work in it. I'm a tweaker. I got to tweak, and I got to try to get as close to perfection as possible. That's who I am.
Call that a perfectionist, not a
Right,
tweaker. No, I'm
exactly.
just kidding.
So
Just kidding.
it's like I was almost ready to donate to myself. There's a donate button there. I was ready to. Who is this guy? I got to donate to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You know?
Were you gonna donate XRP or
Yeah, right. There
even
you go.
XRP? Wow, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, brother, it's been a pleasure. Listen, let's do it again. This was a little bit all over the place. It don't matter. The important thing is we got information out that's in our head that's now in your head, and what you do with it is entirely up to you. Okay. If you want to learn about the quantum financial system, it's very simple. You go to QFS 1776.com. Yeah, do we have a shopping mall there that you can shop and buy non-poisonous dog food for your dog food that's not made from cardboard, flavored cardboard that comes in from China? Yes, we have that. Okay, we have that.
Crazy.
You
Yeah,
want your dog to eat Purina? Yeah. When the dog dies from cancer, don't come look for me. All right. So we got stuff like that. We got a lot of cool stuff. But you can watch all the videos and get an education completely free of charge. We charge you zero. QFS1776.com. Staying alive, okay? Alive with two E's, okay? in Cape Canaveral. The body is a battery. The body is a battery. The battery needs to pull over and get charged sometimes. So if you're coming through Cape Canaveral, the beach is 4 blocks that way. The center is here. Pull in the body and get charged. Okay. Quantum Summit 1776. We don't have anything in the plans yet for another event. We might do something in September, October. We don't know yet. We'll make that announcement when it comes. And Tube 1776. That's the big project. And the greatest story ever told. I don't know if that's what I'm going to call it. That's coming. That's going to be the story of Donald Trump getting recruited by the generals, him coming down the escalator, money exchange, the whole 9 yards. Okay. And so those are the two big projects on the table. The movie's only $5.89, guys. It's not a big deal. You can't buy a cup of freaking orange juice for $5.89 anymore. Buy the movie. You'll watch the movie. You'll agree with me. You'll want to tell everybody about it because it's going to wake you up and say, holy shit, what if Mel's right? What if I am worth $300 million? There is no if. You are worth $300 million. Do you realize they make, I'm going to leave you with this. Do you realize they make between $2 to $5 million just on a speeding ticket over the years? Hey, listen to me. They make $2 to $5 million just on one lousy speeding ticket. Now, think about marriage license, divorce license. You get remarried, that's another license, fishing license, hunting license, speeding ticket, parking ticket, registration for your car. All you bozos out there that think you own your Lamborghini, you don't. If your car is registered with the state, they own the bill of sale. You don't own the Lamborghini. If they want, they can come take your Lamborghini anytime they want because you signed off on the dotted line. But they're taking the money you're paying from their registration and trading it on the market, and that registration money becomes 20 million, 30 million over the years. Yeah. Imagine if a parking ticket or a speeding ticket goes from 2 to 5 million. Imagine what your registration blows up to, compound on top of compound on top of compound. You understand?
Yeah. Or these
the money is there. My wife paid a bill. It's in the movie. We show the receipts.
Nice.
We pay the bill. The bill is paid. They say thank you for paying your bill. Successful. And then 4 days later they want their money back. Don't tell me. Go watch the movie. Tell everybody on planet Earth they need to watch the movie. We got 8 billion people to piss off, and I got a PhD in pissing people off.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Public high school diploma, by the way.
Nice. Yeah. Those are the best ones. Those are the best ones. Yeah, Elon Musk just said recently, college is useless. He said, don't get me wrong, it teaches you some stuff.
It is. Artificial intelligence is going to be your new teacher. Embrace it. It's coming. All you teachers, all you police officers, all you control freaks, all you local communist party at the local government, you're all going away. Your jobs are being replaced. Bye-bye. Good riddance.
Crazy.
Thank you, guys. Make sure you spread this out. And how did he find you, Guy? What's your name of your channel?
Oh, Apex Crypto Insights on YouTube. That's the best way.
Apex Crypto Insights on YouTube. All right? And make sure our editing staff, make sure you put the little thing right underneath his video there at all times. This way they can find it very easily.
Appreciate it a lot.
All right?
Mel, it was an honor to be on your show, man. It was an honor to meet you.
Thank you
so much for having me. Really awesome.